Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Leaf. This is Jay Leaf's Corner, and this is my review for last night's episode of Greenleaf. I forgot that quick. That is so funny. Titled The Father's Will. This was a good episode. I have to admit. I was very entertained. I was like, Lady May was at, an all-time high of being just, on her pedestal. So let's just get on into this whole episode. As we saw from last week's episode, Lionel called, I need to talk to y'all. And I need to tell y'all something face to face. And, no one knew what he wanted to say to them face to face. But as we find out, he's like, I need to apologize, beforehand about what I'm going to say. I feel like it's going to, because it might hurt your family or whatever. And, they're like, well, what is it? What is it? And May like, what you trying to say? Because we know May got, we know what's something going on. It's something up in the coffee with them too. And he says, my son Aaron is gay. And they like, so May had a whole sigh of relief. Like the whole weight just lifted off her shoulders. But we know because she was thinking he was going to say something different to her. But my thing is, Bishop should look at her and said, what you so relieved for, May? What you breathe so heavy down for? Would you let that hard breath out for so tough? Because, when she exhaled, she act like she knew he was finna say, I know where the bodies is buried, and I'm finna post where all the bodies is buried. I'm looking like, you know what I'm saying? Come on now, Bishop, be a little bit on top of things. And, that part I just couldn't, it's just in my head. So they were like, so when they didn't kind of react, they're like, well, how did you find out? When did you know? He's like, oh, I'm gonna go visit him in Montgomery, and I knew something was up. And Aaron's an early riser, and when I went to his house, he was kind of, I can tell something was afoot. Something was up. And he was like, and come to find out, he had a visitor. A male visitor, and I knew I had interrupted something. And he was like, the male visitor was Kevin. They son-in-law Kevin who missing, Kevin who left his kid, Kevin. So they like, okay. Again, they still did not react. So they like, he like, did you know? And they were like, no, we didn't know about him and Aaron, but we did know that he was gay. And I was just like, so Kevin and Aaron are not living together. And then that same thing that Megan Bishop was asking, he was like, no, he's just visiting from, visiting from Memphis, but he's visiting this, and it's a 1-bedroom. And this kind of insinuating, stuff that we know is going on. And Lionel basically asked Bishop to talk to Aaron. He's like, because he's not listening to me, and so he looks up to you, he kind of respects you, maybe you can talk some sense into him. So Bishop like, okay, I'll see what I can do. From there, we see, this is a church show, and as y'all know, I'm trying my best not to cuss. Because y'all know in my other reviews, I'll be cussing and stuff. But, I'm like, this show getting a bit more looser and looser, okay? Because what do we see going on? We see Carissa giving Jacob a goddamn blowjob. I'm looking like y'all gonna just open up a scene with the new pastor and his first lady, and she underneath the covers coming up from where his area is. And we know what she was down there doing. She was down there, slamming on the knob, doing some things. And I'm looking like, am I allowed to cuss now? And I said cuss word prohibited there because if they allowed to show people getting their dick sucked on the show, I should be able to be like, damn, every once in a while. So if I cuss, please forgive me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody's church folk, but just saying. Anywho, so yeah, Carissa come up and give her man some head, and he like, you ain't woke me up like that in a while. And she's like, yeah, well, since it's your first day, as pastor, I wanted it to be special. So she gave his penis some special attention. I'm like, Carissa just out here sucking dick all in the morning, and it was just, okay. But they are a married couple. You know what I'm saying? So do what you do, especially if you're married. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever it is you want to do. But I was still surprised. I'm looking like, they really, okay. Okay, Greenleaf. Okay, On. This is the funny part about that. I remember when On first came out, and Oprah network was not that good. It did not have it didn't have good shows. It was really boring. Nobody really watched it. But since, Greenleaf and some of Tyler Perry shows, with Ava DuVernay and her Queen Sugar, I'm like, Oprah giving the other stations a run for their money because it's entertaining. It's not even like, oh my God, it's salacious, it's sexy, it's good writing, it's good material, it's good television. So I just had to say that. So anyway, she was like, what time is the little church meeting? She's like, I don't know, 9:15. The person, the secretary wasn't really concerned with it or whatever. She's like, we're gonna fix that. She then make a phone call. She on the phone. He all on her, kissing on her and stuff. So she's rescheduling her day a little bit, because as she tells him, I'm gonna go to the church with you because I'm first lady. So we might as well go ahead and start this thing off right and get some things in order, and set a tone. Now, we know Carissa been trying to be first lady forever. And that's one reason why she did not like Grace. Because when Grace came back, it killed her chance at being the next first lady at Triumph. So I think, she going to take full advantage of this, baby. All kind of advantages. So the next thing we see is Aaron is there. Aaron is talking to Bishop. But I'm like, was he already in town? But whatever. Aaron is there and he's talking to Bishop and they're just walking through the church. About to go to this meeting with his father. And, he does apologize and I'm sorry for the way that you found out. I didn't want to cause any trouble. And Bishop it's no trouble. Kevin was already having a hard time and, it's fine. And no. Yeah, I didn't want to cause any trouble. Kevin's having a hard time. It was Aaron saying Kevin was having a hard time. And Bishop well, he should be having a hard time, being that far away from his son. Because again, Kevin is a father. Kevin is a father, but he ain't there with his child. So, before they go into the office, Aaron is like, Bishop, I just want you to know, I am who I am. I can't change. I am gay. Because he know he finna go into this meeting with Bishop and his dad, and he know what his dad's stand is on who he is, as a gay man. And he's like, if you taking me in here, basically try to change me, I can't change. I'm gay. And, Bishop was like, well, let's, God knows the heart. So let's go in here and see what we can see. So, Aaron then asked him, if Jacob was gay, would you treat him like he's a criminal, like he did something illegal? And Bishop was like, no, I wouldn't. He well, that's how my dad acts. He acts as if I'm a criminal. And, that's just how he acts. I'm like, oh, that's so sad. But, it is what it is. Next, we see Charity get a phone call from Jabari. And she's like, oh, did you hear back from Tamla Man? And he's like, yeah. Oh, did they like my song? And he's like, oh, it was better than that. So then she runs her happy self downstairs and where May and Grace is. And she hands Grace the baby. And she's like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And she's so happy. Calm down, Charity. Calm down, little Mohican. And she tells her mom and her sister, Jabari called and Tamla Man wants me to sing backup for her on her national tour. I'm so excited. So May who gonna watch your baby? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, well, Jabari said that Tamla, the tour people will pay for a nanny, but I don't trust anyone to watch him for a long period of time, besides you and the maid. I think her name was Marcel or Marcel. She's like, so I want to know if it would be okay with you if I took Marcel with me to watch the baby. So I'm like, you want to take the maid on the road with you to watch your child? And May kind of felt the same way because May was like, she already has a job. And she does. It's one thing if the maid who lives there helps because she's there. It's a whole nother thing to ask the maid, hey, can you come on the road with me for 2 months and watch my child? I think that's completely different, especially seeing the fact that she's not the nanny. She's, she's the maid or whatever. So, she's like, can I at least ask her, it's only 8 weeks. She's like, 8 weeks, that's a long time to be on the road with a baby. We was on the road a long time ago when the job almost drove us crazy. And she's like, well, can I at least ask her? It's only 2 months. It's only it was 10 weeks. So it's only a little bit more than 2 months. And May was like, well, you can go ahead and ask her, that's fine. But May, of course, doesn't think it's a good idea. She basically said you're going on the road for 2 months just to be a backup singer. And I'm like, but it can open up many doors. But she just feels like there's a lot of hoops to jump through just to be a backup singer. Because, again, you just had a new baby. You're newly divorced. So I guess it is a lot. But she's just trying, I guess, fill her life with things that she wants to do. And I agree with that. So we next see Jacob and Carissa arrive to church. And, the treasurer is like, hey, are you guys going to still keep Tasha, Skanks' wife, on as the music ministry leader, whatever? And Jacob was like, we're here to help her in whatever capacity we can. Because, again, she's all, oh, I'm so sad Pace is gone. And she's so sad, so sad. They get into the office, and she's like, okay, I'm going to go gather all the staff. And, Carissa's like, hey, if you see Tasha, can I let her know that I'm looking for her? And then she's like, okay, no problem, first lady. And then she leaves. Jacob's like, Carissa, she's not my secretary, she's the treasurer. She's like, he then said, you can call Tasha yourself. She's like, I did. I called her twice. She didn't call me back. Which is weird because, what I'm saying? What you ain't call me back for? But, it is what it is. The meeting with with Bishop, Lionel, and Aaron. It was a lot of back and forth. It really was. And I'm going to kind of try to wrap it up in one full swoop. I don't want to keep going back and forth. Lionel is against his son being gay. Lionel does not want his son to be gay at all. He's made that abundantly clear. And him and his son is going back and forth about that, basically, where Lionel is saying, you're going against the laws of God. that's not right. I can't believe you're doing this. And the son is like, there are also other laws in the Bible. Judge not yet you, darn it. Judge not yet you be judged. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't think right now, but please forgive me. Basically, don't judge people because you can be judged yourself. And, as they're both going back with their points, Bishop was like, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, that's true. And I don't like, Bishop, whose side is you on? And he's like, I don't know. Nope, I'm neutral. Well, you need to get on side, you need to get on God's side. That's the side that I'm firmly on. Aaron is like, look, there's no fixing this because he wants me to not be who I am, and I'm a gay man. And, his Lionel was like, well, did you even try? Can you just try not to be gay? He's like, I did try not to be gay. I tried for years not to be gay, but it is who I am. I've accepted that. Don't you love me, as your son? And he's like, I do love you. If I didn't love you, we wouldn't be here. But again, he's like, why, if you love me, why can't you accept me? And he's like, because what you are is unacceptable. I'm looking like, damn, that was harsh to say to your son. What you are is unacceptable. But see, that's the whole point with this storyline of a gay person in church. People have the tendency to judge one sin over the other. They'll say stuff like, well, if he's gay, that's the worst sin ever in life. But if the pastor is an adulterer, oh, that's forgivable. We're not going to shun him. But you would shun gay people. It's the thing. And that's why Bishop is so caught in the middle of it. Because there's a scene with him talking to May. And he's saying, I don't know what to do. I'm not totally on Lionel's side. And she's like, well, I know you're not condoning, what he is. And he's like, I don't think it's my place to condone it or not condone it. And that's his issue. He's like, I don't know, I can't do this. It's up to God to judge this man. And I don't know where to put my alliances and everything. So we see that whole thing. And, but we see that we know May is against homosexuality. We know that for a fact. So her and Lionel kind of have the same stance on that, where Bishop isn't against gay. He's not pro-gay. He's just saying, I don't feel like it's my place to condone it, to not condone it, to praise it, to not praise it, to denounce it, or to, he's in that fine line of what do I do, because God is love and we're supposed to love everyone. So, it was that whole thing. And did I catch everything? Part of the meeting is when, when Lionel left, like, I'm gay, I'm going to be who I am, and he won't accept me. When the first time that he walked out, he's like, I can't believe, him acting like that. And when when Lionel was saying to Bishop, I thought you would be on my side more than this. And he was like, I can't be on anyone's side. You know, you acting the exact way he thought you would act. You know, that's why he didn't tell you. That's why he did not tell you, because of look how you're acting. No wonder he didn't tell you. Why would he choose this? Meaning, why would he choose to be gay and have to deal with his father hating him if he could change? And people say that a lot. They say when a person is gay, the ridicule and the things that they have to go through as a gay person is very, very difficult. And people say, well, just don't be gay. And they like, if I could not be it, don't you think I would? Why would I want to live this hard of a life? It's the equivalent of saying to a black person, why don't you just be white? I wish I could. I wish it could be white, but I can't because it's in me. This is what I am. Where others are able to not be gay. Everyone's different. No one is the same. No one has the same way of dealing with things. You know, everybody's different. So, you know, we have that whole thing. We see Jacob at the church, and he's talking to the workers and letting them know that, you know, nothing seems broke, so he's not going to try to fix it. Meaning, I'm not going to come in here and shake things up and say, let's change A, B, C, and D. It's working fine. You know, if it's not broke, I ain't trying to fix it. He says, however, we had something good at the real church of God. And now that I'm here, we're going to continue to help those people. So, you know, the homeless people who were at the real church, we're going to be helping them here at Triumph. And he's like, you know, that's my word and that's what's happening, because that's what God would do, as he said. I went over Man Bishop. No, when Man Bishop was talking, what I did realize is, you know, when he was saying, you know, it's not my place to condone or not to condone, he also said if this was Jacob, we would handle this in a completely different way than how Lionel is handling Aaron. You know, we'll be different. And May was like, you know, but as for all we know, you know, Aaron could have drove Kevin away from our home in the days of confusion. Aaron is not Moses. And then Bishop was like, and Lionel is not Jesus. And I was like, let her know. You know what I'm saying? You can't, let him know. Let him know, Bishop. And, you know, he's like, Aaron is not going to change. And then that's when I was saying that it's clear that Bishop and May have two different perspectives on it too. They're not arguing about it. They're just both stating their points. And I thought that was something good to mention. What else? Aaron goes to talk to Charity. So, because May said, you know, I'm going to tell Charity about this before she hears it from someone else. So when Aaron walks in there, you can clearly tell by the look on her face that she knows that Kevin is there. I don't know if they said that her and Kevin, she know, basically. So she's like, how may I help you? Isn't that what you said to me when you would talk to me, when you would be, you know, when you were working at our church, when you were living in our home, when you were helping represent me in my divorce? How may I help you? That's what you would say. And then, I mean, she just full of sass and just everything. And of course, she's pissed off. And he's like, you know, I just want to say that I'm sorry, you know, I want to say I'm sorry for being a part of something that is hurting others and it's also hurting Kevin. And, you know, she like, well, Kevin should be unhappy. You know, that's fine. He deserves to be unhappy. Basically because he left his son without a father. And I'm like, that is true. He did leave his son without a father. That is absolutely true. And, you know, when Aaron trying to say how Kevin felt, she's like, I don't care how he feels. You know, I don't care at all. All I'm concerned with is keeping my world safe for me and my son. And he left his child without a father. And I can't, you know, get down with that. And she's like, if I was a lesbian, if the roles were reversed and I was a lesbian, I would still be a mother. And, you know, he's like, but he's ashamed. You know, every day he's away. And she's like, I told you, I don't care how he feels. And I'm like, okay, Charity, calm down, boo-boo. She was heated. You know what I'm saying? She was very, very upset. I have work to do. And then, of course, she leaves. But my thing about that was, if you were a lesbian, you wouldn't be shunned as much as he is as a gay man. There is a clear double standard when it comes to homosexuality. Gay women sometimes aren't shunned as much as gay men is. So sometimes when a man confirms being gay or realizes he's gay or accepts being gay in whatever capacity, they feel ashamed because they know how people look at them. And it's very, very true. So when she said, if I was a lesbian, I would still be a mother. You absolutely would, but you might not be ashamed to be gay. And I think when Aaron said he's ashamed, she didn't hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make excuses for Kevin not being there for his son, because he absolutely should. But I also think it's a very hard pill to swallow, to accept being a gay man when because Kevin's not okay with being gay yet. He might have told Charity he was gay. He's still not to that point where he accepts it within himself. So he's ashamed of who he is. And I think there was a way he could have handled it by not completely not being in his son's life for this amount of time. But I also understand if he maybe said, I need some time to get myself together, to believe in myself enough to be the father that our son needs. Give me a month. You know what I'm saying? Still, just some kind of way. I wish he could have did them both. He could have went away to build his self-esteem up so that he doesn't feel ashamed, but also not leave his son and his ex-wife with her to do it all. So, but my point was, when she said that she was a lesbian, she would still be a mother. My thing is, but it's different when a woman comes out as gay than when a man comes out as gay. When a man comes out as gay, I really believe like they are shunned harder than women. I know plenty of gay people, male and female, and I have friends who, if you be like, oh, she gay, they're like, okay, that's cool. But if a guy is gay, I can't believe that. That's just so disgusting. I can't. That's fuckery. And all this other stuff that people say when it's a gay man. So I'm like, it's still it's apples and oranges. It might still be fruit, but it's still two different kinds of fruit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. The next thing that we see happen, we see there's like a little powwow in Tasha's office. We find Tasha, and it's Tasha and a couple of the other ladies from church. This ain't no, we're still here for you. We still care for you. If you need help, let us know. And when Carissa walked in, she's like, excuse me, can I talk to Tasha real quick? She basically just invites Tasha to dinner. So, that's what it is. And then even when someone walk in like, hey, first lady, they both like, yes. Because they're both first ladies now. But I'm like, is Tasha really still first lady if her husband is no longer pastor? Like, I mean, like, we wouldn't still call Michelle Obama first lady because Barack is no longer president. Maybe former first lady? So she should have said former first lady, and then they would have knew that she was talking about skanks. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So she invited her to dinner at the house. She comes to dinner at their house later on, and they're just talking or whatever. And there was an issue where the treasurer was like, maybe it's not a good idea if you introduce or you have this new program for helping the homeless, because we have a financial situation. The congregation doesn't know, so you should probably wait a year to do it. And Jacob said, I'll take it under consideration. That was something earlier I didn't really mention. But they're talking about this now, and Tasha's like, well, I can talk to her, if you want me to. And Chris was like, no, we got this. Meaning, step back. You're no longer first lady. And then she kind of gets a little sad. And Chris like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, I just hope Basie's safe. I just miss him so much. I just love him. I just hope he's okay. And Jacob grabs her hand and holds her hand just in support. But you can see the look on Chris' face. She don't like that. So I'm going to need Jacob to watch that. Jacob used to be a philanderer. So we got to just make sure that he's okay. The last scene of Aaron talking with his dad is Lionel's pissed. Aaron's pissed. And, Aaron is saying he's not going to accept me, so we can't fix this. I'm leaving. I'm going home. And Lionel says, I'm just so happy that your mother wasn't able to see that you were gay. And he was like, Mom knew. I told her when I was 13. That's not true. No, you didn't. He was like, yeah, I told her. She knew. She accepted me. But she told me not to tell you because she knew you couldn't handle it. And you can't. And he was like, and also, Mom knew about you too. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, she knew about you, all of them. Just because you did yours with women doesn't mean it wasn't sin. Meaning, you was out here philandering and sleeping around. It just wasn't with me. And so, again, one sin isn't over the other. You was an adulterer. I just happen to be a homosexual. But we both have sinned against God. So why are you trying to put my sin over your sin, and as if I'm an abomination, and you are something that's not as bad. So he leaves for the last time, and Lionel's like, I don't know what he's talking, because Bishop looking like, well, what do we have here? So he's like, I don't know what he's talking about. It's just crazy how people can come up with these delusions in their head and come up with these, these perversions. And Bishop was like, yeah, it's crazy. Because in a way, Lionel was doing the exact same thing. He's coming in his head, he's making up these things about how bad of a person his own son is. And yes, it's crazy. So, this goddamn Cotillion and Isaiah and Zora. I'm just gonna shortcut this because I don't even want to focus too much time on it because it pissed me off. Zora and Sophia, they're at the cotillion practicing. Isaiah's late getting there, but he gets there. Talking about he got shades on because he don't want people to see who he is and have it to be a big deal. It ain't about you, boo-boo. It ain't about you. Anywho, he kind of acting up. He's being silly. He's making up dances. He's not taking it serious. And, Sophia calls him out on it. And when Zora says to him, yeah, maybe you should, just not goof off as much, like take the dancing serious. He gets pissed off, like, oh, so now it's 3 against 1, y'all against me, and you gonna take her side, get mad at Zora because she didn't disagree with her cousin Sophia, and he storms off. And what does Zora do? She follows right behind him. Stupid, young-minded girl. So she chased behind him, and he like, why you always sound with her? Why you always taking her side? What about me? Are you sleeping with her or are you sleeping with me? Who is it? And she's like, I'm with you. I choose you. And she's trying to hug on him and stuff. He's like, get off me, get off me, get off me. And pushes her into a pole. Very, very hard. Again, this boy is abusive. And she is young and dumb and she's just not seeing it. You can see it as clear as day what's going to happen. He either going to beat her up and Jacob won't kill him, or I just need Jacob to find out so Jacob can really beat his ass, point blank, period. Because when he pushed her into the pole, I'm so sorry. Why do you keep doing this to me? I'm so sorry. I just get so upset. I get so emotional when you try to critique me. I love you so much, and you're the only thing I want to be with. I'll never do it again. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And she's like, you love me? Okay, it's okay. I love you too. And they kissing. She's stupid. She's a stupid young girl. It happens every day. I've been through it before too when I was young. So that's why I think why it makes me so mad, because it's like we don't see it because we're like, okay, he loved, because you said I get so upset. When you judge me, it makes me emotional. I just get crazy because I love you. So she's thinking it's the mindset. He's putting his hands on me because he loves me so much. He beats me because he loves me. He hurts me because he loves me so much. I can't wait for them to wrap this story up so he can get what he needs to get. He needs whatever he can get his what he deserves. Like, I need that to happen quick. Anywho, there's a small scene where Bishop is asking May, if Aaron's mom ever told her that Aaron was gay, or if she ever mentioned Lionel sleeping with other women. And she's like, of course not. If she told me that he was gay, I would have never put him in a room so close to Kevin. But she then says, why are you asking me about, other women with Lionel? Oh, well, Aaron kind of mentioned that Lionel was stepping out with different women and that his mom knew. And she was like, multiple women? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I think he's just lying, to distract from his own stuff. So, yeah. There's a scene with Darius and Grace, and I'm going to wrap this up quick, too, because it wasn't a lot to even go over. They're having dinner at the house, just kind of chilling out together, and she's like, what do you see yourself in 5 years? And in a nutshell, initially he did not say with her. He said, I want a bigger house. I want to write a book. I don't want kids. They both agree they don't want kids. In the second scene of them, she said, are you sure you don't want kids? And he's like, why do you keep asking me this? She's like, well, because it's a big decision. And he's like, look, all I know is all I want is you. All I need is you. I need you. And she's like, do you? All you need is me. They kiss, and, they end up having sex. Let's just say that. I think it was a good thing for them to kind of admit that they want to be together. They're grown. Go ahead and do that. And him finally saying, you know, you are enough for me. I don't need children. Wherever you want to go, we can go. Whatever you want to do, we can do. But all I want in my life is you. Claim her. Yes. And it made her let down her guard. And she slept with him. You know, do what you do. The dinner scene. May is on one tonight. So, you know, she cut into everybody. She cut into Charity about going on tour. She like, if you gonna be on tour, who gonna run the choir? You know what I'm saying? It's Savannah Man's assistant also an exalter. I'm looking like, what Meg? Meg was drunk. Let's be honest. Meg was a little tipsy. She cut into Lionel talking about, you know, because he said, you know, Aaron forgot about God's law. Which law is that, Lionel? There's many laws. You know, the 10 Commandments are the most important laws. You know, thou shalt not steal, kill, be an adulterer. And he looking like, what am I missing? And she's like, I guess we both missing something. And she's mad. And Bishop looking back and forth like, okay, I'm missing something too. Why is she so mad? You know, she then tells Charity them that she should not go chasing behind Jabari, you know what I'm saying, and lose her dignity, throwing away her dignity for a man just so that the man will give her love. I'm like, then said your son gonna be on a pimped out tour bus. I'm like, May, what's wrong, boo boo? Calm down, May. But she was on one. She was drinking, and then she was just saying to Cherry, you know, no man is worth you losing your self-respect. Don't do that. I know you're in a bind because of what Kevin did. Kevin ain't here because your son does not have a father. You have to do different things, but you know, don't lose your self-respect. And she's like, Ma, I'm not gonna lose my self-respect. I'm doing this because I want to. But again, May was on one, and Bishop was looking around like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know what's going on. We then see May. Later on, she goes into Lionel's room and she confronts him. And she's like, you know, were there any others? And he's like, what were there others? And he like, you know, no one ever touched me as deeply as you did. And she's like, Negro, please. You know, I could have blown up my marriage. I was going to get a divorce. You know, I could have shamed my family. All because of the lies you put in my head. And I'm like, May, you was with that. May is also an adult. The one without sin cast the first stone. I'm telling you. So that's the whole. We knew that happened because it was the underplay for the overlay. But hearing her admit it was something like, you had me so gone, I thought I was special. So then her finding out she wasn't the only one, sent her over the edge. And she just drinking. I don't see how no one heard them arguing because May was loud as hell. She's like, you know, I want to know how many women there were. You know, I want to know how many other stupid women did you do this to? And he was like, a few. Lionel, you out in these streets? Lionel was out in these goddamn streets. So, she's like, as a man, you are small and disgusting. And I'm like, May, calm down, May. Please calm down. Just, you know, don't do it, May. Don't do it. And, you know, you're disgusting. He was like, your brother was a rapist. James isn't a saint. And for all that I know, that sissy ex son-in-law of yours turned my son out and made him be who he is. I was like, bruh, I was like, oh my God, but it's true. It's true. You getting on me about me. How you getting mad at the man? May, you slept with a married man while you was married, but you're upset because that same married man slept with other people. But again, she thought they were special. She didn't know he was just a playboy, basically. So when she said, you know, when he was saying that, she slapped him. She said, don't you show your face in my life again. You know, you're not good enough. You are nothing. You don't exist. You are a space where a person should have been. And she was loud. I'm looking like, okay, is Bishop gonna walk in and hear this conversation and he gonna figure out that they slept together? Because they weren't quietly arguing at all. Well, at least Meg wasn't. But again, Meg was drunk. The next scene we see, because she says that and she walks out, and he just looking like, well, damn. Because I mean, you done told him that he's disgusting. He's not a man. But she's only upset because she found out she wasn't the only one. But she was cheating on your husband. Okay, y'all were both cheating, and as we see, ain't nobody in this whole show clean. Okay, it's all some dirty secrets coming up. the next thing we see is, Carissa asking Jacob, they're in bed, it's the end of the night, and she's like, what do you think about us moving Tasha? And he's like, well, moving her where and when? And she's like, well, there's an office down the hall from you. I think we should move her there because I feel like I should be in the office next to your office because I'm first lady. And he's like, let's just take it one step at a time. We don't have to do everything right now. And she's like, but I'm first lady now. He's like, Carissa, everyone knows you're first lady. Everyone is aware that you are first lady. He didn't take his robe off. He got in the bed. And he said, I'm going to take this one step at a time. I've been thinking about this all day. I was in the meeting and I was thinking about it. And what does he do? He ate his wife's vagina. Yes, he was eating the coochie on the dang on Greenleaf. I'm looking like, so they show him getting head in the morning and him giving head in the evening. You know what I'm saying? As I said, they are a married couple. Let them do what they do. And she enjoys it. And you know what I'm saying? It's good to see them in a good place. Even though I know it's going to be some, some muck up in there because they have two different thought processes of how they're going to handle this thing is them being the new pastor and first lady of the church. We know that's going to come. Also, when Grace and Darius was having sex, while Lauren Hill's Nothing Even Matters was playing, I'm looking like, okay, because nothing even matters at all. And as he told her, all that matters is you. All I want is you. It was a beautiful, beautiful scene. So the last scene of the evening is we see Lionel leaving. And Bishop is seeing him off. And Bishop like, yeah, May is sick, so she can't come down. So she sends her regards or whatever. And Bishop then says, we're both old. We both did things and lived our life. He basically says, your son needs you. Your son is all that you have. Don't mess that up thinking that you have to think of him in some certain way. You know what I'm saying? Make up with your son because he is all you have. And think about it. Bishop has lost one of his daughters. So, it's easy for him to feel like you can't let your child go like that. And, he's like, okay, I'll try to work on that. He then says, tell May I'm sorry. And Bishop says, sorry for what? And he was like, that I didn't get to say bye in person. And he's like, oh, okay. But Bishop looking like something ain't right. Something ain't right. And then it goes on commercial. But baby, the next episode looks so good. I will not wait until the next day to review the next episode. I'm so sorry. I was tired yesterday, so I didn't get to do this review yesterday. But next Wednesday, I will be reviewing Greenleaf that night before I go to bed. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.